Here's the thing. I didn't.
What? It's coming up.
I didn't know where to start.
Otherworldlyculture.com.
Season8.com. That's pretty good. All right, here we go. Season 8. An umpire and a vampire square off week after week, reviewing movies outside their own strike zone. This week's selections: the 1985 horror movie Re-Animator and the 2000 sports movie Played to the Bone, starring Woody Harrelson, Jeffrey Combs, Barbara Crampton, Lolita Davidovich, Dave Gale, Antonio Banderas, Lucy Liu, and Bruce Abbott. Now two guys who are so mentally stable, it's insane. Jeff Miller and Tim Kretschmann.
What? So mentally stable, they're insane.
No, that it's insane.
It's insane.
That it's insane.
This is what you came up with. How long did that one take you, Jeff?
32 seconds.
All right. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Dead on the Bases. It's mine. It's mine.
It will be mine after this season. It'll be mine after this season.
Yeah, okay, let me explain the premise for those that are first-time viewers of our first inning of
Dead on the Bases.
Season 8.
Season 8.
Season 8.
I can't believe
Can
we're
you
at
believe
8
we're
already?
8? Yeah, you would think you'd be better by now. I'm Tim. I'm the Vamp, and I love horror movies. He's Jeff Miller, and Jeff was once accused of being mediocre. That was hotly debated, and now is generally accepted that Jeff is definitely not normal.
How long did it take?
Anyway,
31 seconds?
Not even that. It was from last season. Anyway, Jeff is the ump, and he loves sports movies. So, of course, the guy that loves horror movies watches sports movies, and the guy that watches...
Why isn't this one over by you?
Okay, Jeff.
Look at where you are. You're on that side, and I got my left hand. Look.
Which is further that way.
Oh, I got you.
Unreal. How long have we been doing this now?
8 seasons.
8 seasons, correct. Okay, you were listening. That's good. All right, everybody. So tonight, Jeff is going to have the great fun of reviewing Re-Animator. From the 80s, the greatest decade ever of films.
It was. I have to admit that, but go ahead.
Okay. I got to play it to the bone. All right, so...
I get no love. It looks like Play the Bone is first tonight. Is it first?
No, you're reviewing first.
Are you sure?
Yes.
All right, but wait a second. We showed them a trophy.
Now, wait a second.
Tell them what the trophy's all about.
Everybody, for those of you scoring, that was the first, wait a second, of this season. So that's pretty exciting for everybody.
But now, hold on a second. Hold on. Now, wait. We need to let people know. Now, if you've never watched this before. Yep. Now, wait. Now, listen. Hold on a second. Jeep. Okay. So listen. Okay, so here's the thing. Now, hear me out.
It isn't the thing. We're doing Re-Animator this time.
But what I need to say is something out loud.
I'm going to say this out loud and you can hear it because you're using your ears and I'm using my mouth. And this is the type of text I get from Jeff just prior to the show.
Right on. But if you've never watched this before or listened to this, how this goes. Each week we review movies. And he told you he reviews a sports movie, I do a horror movie.
You know, people are trying to confuse you right now.
I know that.
They're putting stuff on the screen.
I know. Welcome back, boys. Oh, Schwobet's in.
Hey, all right, Schwobet.
So while we hit a button, here's the thing.
Buttons, yes.
Here's the thing. So then we'll rate each other's movies. And then at the end we have, there she is. And then we'll have at the end, wait a second, Schwobet.
That's Schwobet.
Yeah,
I'm going through the whole thing here.
So then at the very end, I like his new graphic.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it?
Yep, and the bots. And we'll talk about the bots a little later on. And then the thing of it is that at the end, we do a trivia question. And the trivia question, it's 2 right answers and a wrong answer. And the opposing person has to figure out what the wrong answer is to get 5 points.
It's pretty exciting.
And last year, Tim barely beat me.
No, it was such an arsch licking. It was, look at that. See that? That's official. If you look inside,
Tim drank out of it.
You don't know what I did inside of this.
Oh my God, I've been cleaning it before I win it this year. All right, Re-Animator. Okay.
Okay, are we ready?
People are not tuning in.
Are
for
we
that.
ready now?
I just want to say that's really loud. Don't do that anymore. That's loud in my ears.
Oh, poor Jeff.
All right, Re-Animator. So this is the movie that I had, and I'm gonna fess up a couple things right off the bat. I'm not gonna say a damn word anymore if you keep on doing that.
Put that over there. You know this desk is loud.
So I'm just gonna put it right there. No.
No,
You know what I'm
gonna
gonna get?
break
You
it
know
before
when
you
I
win
win
it.
this, I'm gonna get a chain, and I'm just gonna wear it around my neck, just like Flava Flav.
Flava Flav.
All right.
It'll be umpy ump.
All right. Yes, I like that.
I bet you do.
And then we can sing the humpity dance. The humpity dance for the umpity ump. All right. Anyways, back
Start your review.
All right, my review of the Re-Animator. Re-Animator, whether you know it or not, came out in the 1980s, 1985.
Wow.
And it's an hour and 24 minutes, so you know that is a solid movie. You know that's really, for this movie, that's perfect.
Yep.
You didn't want it any longer. You didn't want it any shorter. Because the stuff in there is well worth it. Now, I watched this a couple times.
Did you watch it with your eyes?
No, I watched it, yeah.
Okay.
So I watched it a couple times, and here's...
Now, did everybody catch? He said he watched it a couple of times. Did you all see that?
Right, but here's what I'm saying. So I did watch it a couple times because honestly, the first time I put it on, I don't know if it was just I had a long night. I have a hard time sleeping, so maybe I had a hard time sleeping. Maybe it was a long day at work. I fell asleep. I fell asleep through the very beginning of it because honestly, the very beginning is a little slow. They're over in Switzerland, and they're doing some sort of mumbo jumbo, macabre medical things. All right, but listen to me out. So I
am listening.
So I watched it, and I did nod off, and then Tango was there, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give this another chance. So a couple days later, I'm like, all right, let's put this on. So I started from the beginning, and I'm getting through it. Now I'm watching this movie, and basically the premise is you have this guy who's a doctor or something, and he's in Switzerland, and he came up with, I got something to tell you about that too. But here's the thing. So he comes up with this way to reanimate. Now I'm thinking, when I heard this Re-Animator, I'm like, is he going to make cartoons? What's going to happen here? But what he really means is he's bringing people back to life.
You thought I gave you a horror movie about people coming back as cartoons.
What was Roger Rabbit?
Not a horror film.
No, but it was people in cartoons interacting.
There is not a horror film vibe to Roger Rabbit.
No, I know that. But are there not humans?
Okay, just
Just
keep
wait.
going.
I want to
That's
qualify this because I want people to think I'm crazy. In Roger Rabbit,
that isn't going to change.
In Roger Rabbit, there's humans and cartoons. I thought when he inject this into people, they turn into cartoons, and he was talking to them.
Okay.
Animation, right?
Keep going.
Okay. Thank you. Check mark for Jeff. Now listen. So what happens here is he can bring people back to life, but he comes to America.
Coming to America.
Right, and this is before Eddie Murphy came to America.
Right.
But he came to America, right? And he enrolls in this college that's also part, and I'm not going to give anything away. Don't worry about this. He comes into this college, and what they're going to do is he's going to do some studying and all that. But he lives with this guy, and he builds a lab in his basement, and he's going to do his little experiments. But what happens though? But listen, what happens? I'm not giving anything away.
No,
but this is almost like the cool thing about this is that you can see other movies in this movie. Like, they got stuff from this movie to make other movies or to make other shows, like Walking Dead.
Okay.
Stuff like this. And you can get this because what happens is, even though he brings the people back to life, they're more like zombies. They really don't they can't do 2 + 2. They can't multiply. They can't divide. They can't add. They can't form sentences. They're just walking around, and they're just going to beat people up. Or like eat them or whatever.
They could work at a fitness center.
Very funny.
There we go.
Very funny.
Thank you.
But here's the thing, though. So
Thank you.
So Barbara Crampton. So let's get some of these people.
Why I have the cup. Yeah.
So Jeffrey Combs is the guy who plays Herbert West. He's the doctor.
He does throughout the movie.
He's a doctor.
Yeah.
All right. Bruce Abbott is like an intern doctor who's learning stuff. Barbara Crampton, who is fantastic in this movie, she is Bruce Abbott's love interest. She is her dad is the dean of the school.
Right.
And the thing of it is that they're afraid that if they're dating that it's going to be bad and he's going to get kicked out of school and all that
Right.
stuff. But then what I didn't understand is, who is David Gale? Why is he Dr. Hill? I don't understand. Who is he? Is he?
This is, first of all, it's not really a college. It's a medical school.
But
Okay.
okay,
And
yeah.
Dr. Hill
Yep.
is one of their teachers. Herbert West,
Yep.
and they call him Dr. West, which is kind of different. He's still a medical student.
He is, and they brought him over from Switzerland, so he came over here because he
He
got
was
expelled.
studying over there, and the person he was studying under, his instructor,
Yep.
died. That's what that opening scene
See,
was.
I
that
didn't
you
get
kept
that. I
falling
didn't get
asleep
that.
in.
I didn't. No, but I stayed awake the second time, but I still didn't get it.
Right. But that's who died, and he tries to bring back to life.
Right. With
The green goo.
the coolest thing. Okay, if you've watched this for 7 seasons, what is my favorite thing in a horror movie? What is it?
Flamethrower.
Yes. What is now my new favorite 1B?
Jizz.
It's this green stuff. that green.
I didn't even wait.
that green stuff, that green formula
Yeah.
is so cool.
You know what it is?
Yes, it's from the glow sticks.
Yep.
That is the coolest
it
thing
is.
for that time span, for it to be 1985. They didn't use CGI or anything. That was so cool. It please just let me get through this.
And kids don't inject this. Okay.
It lit up the room. It sort of was like you're looking at a black and white movie and you see a splash of color.
Yep.
I thought that was the coolest thing in this whole movie. Second coolest thing.
Right.
Okay. Third coolest thing. So anyway.
I knew we were going there.
Anyways.
When I gave it to him, I'm like, Jeff is finally going to be happy with
Finally.
this aspect of the film.
So anyways, but the green formula, that was a home run. What they did there was just fantastic. They couldn't have done it better. There could not have been a better.
I agree. It looks otherworldly. It
Yes.
looks scientific.
I think honestly,
It's such a simple idea. Just grab the glow sticks.
All the other kidding aside about the other aspects of this, that made this movie.
Okay.
That made this movie. That did. I mean, you could not have red gel. You couldn't have anything. You had to have green lit up type of gel.
Okay.
Anyways, back to the movie.
Back to the movie and back to Jeff.
So where are we at? Okay, so he's at this university hospital. All right, he's at this university hospital, and the thing of it is that somehow he becomes roommates with Bruce Abbott.
Right.
But what was crazy is how did he
It's
ever?
not how. It's not somehow. He went to Bruce Abbott's house and said, "You had an ad."
But how did he build all this stuff in the basement?
What?
How did he get all that stuff in the basement?
He knew how. He brought along notebooks. Remember?
But anybody see him bringing in tables and bringing in flasks and all sort of stuff?
I don't know. It wasn't shot in real time. There's like edits.
Yeah, I get you. I get that.
You don't see everything.
So-
This is the same thing I discussed about scores in your sports movies. You don't see absolutely every goal.
But you should. So back to the movie. So what happens is that Jeffrey Combs, who plays Dr. Herbert West, he needs to try this formula out. He's like dead set on I can bring people back to life.
Yeah.
The first thing that he does is that he finds a way to get into the lab or get into the morgue.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Abbott takes stuff down to the morgue all the time.
Right.
So he goes down there and he injects a guy and he comes back. And the thing that you need to know about this guy, the cool thing about this guy is that he is actually the stand-in for Arnold Schwarzenegger in a couple different movies.
Right, yeah.
Which is kind of cool.
In the early Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, this is the guy that was his stunt double.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So he comes back to life, and there's a lot of stuff going on, and he's causing havoc. And who he causes the most havoc to,
as one does after they die, they cause a lot of havoc,
is to Robert Sampson, who plays Dean Halsey, who is Barbara Crampton's dad.
Okay.
So he causes some havoc to him, and then
causes havoc to him.
Well, he throws him around and kills him, and then all of a sudden, Dr. West has to bring him back.
Hold on. I want everybody to take out your cards. The first big spoiler of the season, Jeff had at the 17-minute mark, everybody.
Bingo. No,
Congrats.
but anyways, but no, that's not really a spoiler. You know that he's going to have to kill people, right? Is that really a spoiler?
I just saw that we need a new animated GIF of Jeff being reanimated.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Trogsdor. It's over 30 years old. Thank you. But anyway, so here's what happens. So Havoc's starting to run crazy. People are dying. People are coming back to life. But the thing of it is I don't even know where to go with this. But so can I skip to David Gale?
Yes.
Okay, but
we're praying for this.
He's not a very good person because
he acts. His character is not a very.
Well, yeah,
good
and maybe in
person.
real life he is.
Right?
Is he still alive?
I don't know if he's still alive. I know he's divorced because of this film.
Oh yes, can I tell about that too?
Go ahead.
All right, but anyways, so part of this, David Gale dies. Well, that's not a spoiler, but it kind of is. But his head gets chopped off, and Dr. West brings both parts back to life. He brings the body back, and he brings the head back. But this is something, Tim, if you remember this, when you watch this movie, if you ever watch this movie and you remember this, so there's a fake head on a table. It's like a fake head. It's like one that they would be trying to look at and try to do medical procedures on. The body puts the fake head on, and he carries the real head. Why didn't the body just put the real head back on the body?
Why?
Yeah.
Because it's funnier this way.
I wasn't laughing.
Yeah, you were scared.
I was
You was
terrified.
crying.
So what happens though? But Barbara Crampton, then she's like, I got to take my clothes off. So she takes.
I remember that scene. Hey, I got to take my clothes off. We need to make this movie sell a couple more units.
We need people to stick around a little bit longer. So she's laying there, and she's naked, and then Dr. Carl Hill, David Gale, is in there, and he's like, because he's kind of like in the movie, he's a bad guy because he's like going after her.
He's
and
the villain. Yeah.
He's like 60 and she's like 20, and he wants her. He wants her.
It's a love triangle. Yes.
It's a love triangle with an obtuse angle to it. So he's in there and he's playing with her, and takes the head part, and he's like, I don't know if I can say this stuff, but he's like,
I'm enjoying watching you torture yourself
because
right
it's
now.
weird because I think that was really his head, wasn't it? I mean, that wasn't a fake head moving.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true.
So he must have been like here in the body, like his head sticking out, but then he was putting it like he was doing oral stuff on Barbara Crampton. Am I right? The severed head was doing oral stuff, right? Or at least it was pretending to. And then more stuff happens. And you know what this reminded me a lot of? Tim? Is Planet Terror.
Planet Terror? Okay.
It did.
All right.
All the chaos going on in that
There's
room.
a lot of chaos.
A lot of chaos. A lot of blood. They actually used 24 gallons of blood, fake blood in this movie, where they'd only use 2 normally. They used 24 gallons.
Okay. I read that same piece of trivia, and here's what I have to say to that. 24 gallons doesn't sound that bad.
But the way they did it is all in a small area.
That's 5-gallon pails.
That's a lot of blood.
I washed my car with less than that.
You wash your car with blood?
Yes.
So anyway,
I'm a vampire, bitch.
See, no one knew that. We should, you know what? Every time we swear, you should get a negative point.
I know you're going to come up with all sorts of stupid reasons for positive points.
Here's what happens. So here's what happens. All this stuff happens in this movie, right? Oh, and I have another question. But all this stuff happens in this movie. This, that, and the other thing.
Yes, in movies, things happen.
Right.
Except for the ones you give me, apparently.
But see, you are so good at doing this because you don't give away the ending, and I can't.
You've all but given up the very, very
I
end
can't do this
so far.
without giving up the ending, but I'm not gonna.
I'm not betting against.
But what
that.
I'm going to say out loud now is that in the first scene, one of the first scenes, Dr. Dan Kane, Bruce Abbott, tries to bring someone back to life.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. He takes him to the morgue. Think of like a bookshelf. You have a bookend on this end and you have a bookend on this end. I'm going to leave it at that.
Okay. I have to.
But wait.
There are two great quotes in our chat that I have to get to. One was.
See, they're knocking off that fake head. That was so wrong.
Oh. Let's see here. Now it's buried. Oh, an early remark was strangely as helpful to be awake during the first scene to understand the following scenes.
Well, then
that's a great line. That
Yeah.
was Trogdor's.
Fair.
And then Bearded Beauty has my favorite. I'm pretty sure the movie was shorter than this review.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, I love
Filled
you.
with the love. Thanks, folks.
Love you all too. So basically, what this is a guy who has this formula that can bring people back to life. He experiments with it. Chaos happens.
Does this sound familiar in any way to you?
Yes.
A doctor, a mad
Yes.
scientist bringing back the dead.
Frankenstein.
Thank you.
Tim.
I kept waiting
But Tim,
for the
Tim,
connection.
do you want me to just give that out and then my review's over? I got to get to it.
Considering.
So if you think of The Walking Dead, Frankenstein, and Planet Terror, you have Re-Animator.
Fantastic.
And the thing of it is,
The thing of it is.
even though it took me to get to that point, you know what I mean. And there's but there's a Re-Animator too, isn't there?
Yeah.
But now let me ask you.
You know
this.
what Re-Animator 2 is about?
I want to ask, but I think I'm gonna give away
About
Re-Animator.
90 minutes.
Does Re-Animator 2 we won't give anything away. Does Re-Animator 2 leave off where Re-Animator 1 is?
Mostly.
Good. So
Mostly.
is Barbara Crampton in the second one?
I'm trying to remember. I don't think so.
Okay, then I'm
I
not.
don't think so. Most people don't consider Re-Animator 2 the sequel to this film. From Beyond is usually thought of as the sequel, even though it's completely different characters, but it's still an H.P. Lovecraft movie.
Isn't that so cool? When they keep showing this green stuff, it is so cool. I love it.
Hey, you know what it's time
Look
for,
at that.
Jeff? Jeff, do you know what it's time for?
I gotta give you a score.
No.
Oh,
You forgot.
Dude, need fundage, bro.
see, that's even
It's
in mine.
Polly Shore connection time.
He's gonna be connected to Barbara Crampton, I bet.
Okay, Barbara Crampton, and how many steps?
Am I right?
How many steps?
2.
You got it. Barbara Crampton is connected by the movie Death House, which, by the way, has got like 10 million people in it. And Sean Whalen is in there. You might know him from The People Under the Stairs. Other people, you would know him from that. And then Sean Whalen is connected through Jury Duty to Mr. Pauly Shore.
Jury Duty is a good movie.
I haven't watched that one yet.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. I haven't seen Biodome.
Oh my God! I've seen more Pauly Shore movies than you have.
I consider that okay.
I've seen every one of them.
I consider that okay. I'm good with that. I think you're right, though. It is score time. So
here's the thing. Here's
the thing, everybody.
You gotta let me get to this point.
Now, I want you, before you give your score,
Yeah.
I want you to keep in mind there was a lot of nudity. All right.
Just wait a second.
I made my plea. That's usually all I need.
All right. So I can't give it a 10. All right. And I'm not going to give it a 1.
Did you even look at Barbara?
I did.
Okay.
But that can't carry the whole movie.
Okay.
But here's the thing, Tim. It had the green stuff that I told you is fantastic. Okay.
And it moves 100 miles an hour. The movie doesn't have a slow spot.
Yes, it does. The very, very, very beginning.
You're out of your mind. But
The very beginning, when they're in Switzerland,
when
I could have made Swiss cheese about the same amount of time to get through that first scene.
Oh my God.
But here's the thing. I loved the green stuff. I love that. That was awesome. Barbara Crampton is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
She's just She's very, very pretty. Very pretty.
Yeah.
And then she just says, hey, you know what? I'm going to show you how much more pretty I am. And we all say thank you to that.
Yes, we do.
The fact that they make David Gale, Dr. Carl Hill, try to get some when he's got a severed head, I got to give props to that thought factor, too. I mean, who even thinks of that? Tim, you know what? I'm giving this can we do half points?
No.
Then I'm going to give it a very, very solid. And another nice thing is that it's that 80s type of movie. I love it because it's sort of like Night of the Comet. I just love this type of movie. I'm going to give it a nice solid 8.
Eight, all right. An 8, everybody.
Barbara Crampton's a 10, but I'm giving the movie an 8.
Fantastic. Well, thanks so much, Jeff. Now we are getting...
as you dismiss me away. Thank you, Jeff.
we're behind. So we're going to start with the sports section of our show. You remember that, Jeff? That you have a sports section that we created for you?
Thanks, Tim. You're the best.
I know.
All right, sports.
Sports.
I'm Jeff Miller, and this is the sports. This is the sports that I know.
With Jeff Miller.
Today is one of the best days.
Jeff.
This is one of the best days of the year, one of the best seasons of the year. It's
yes,
March.
Craig Council is back working.
It's March Madness. That means that we have 2 or 3 weeks.
Oh, wait, not baseball.
No, we have 3 weeks. We have 4 weeks of college basketball, some of the best basketball that we're ever going to see. Marquette, Wisconsin plays tomorrow night. We had a couple upsets already today. We had a game that kind of hurt me. I had Nevada beating Dayton. Nevada had a 16-point lead. Dayton went on a 24-2 run at the end of the game and won the game. So that part of my bracket is there's a little X there.
You're not doing your bracket scientifically. Everybody knows you should do it by alphabetical order. Dayton,
Nevada.
Nevada. So, I mean, if you're not going to follow science, I can't help you.
Science.
Science.
Baseball season starts up soon. I think we're about 13 days away. The Dodgers and the San Diego Padres already opened up their season in South Korea. The Brewers will take the field soon. I think March 31st. I don't know. I don't care because you know what? It's going to be a great season. Craig Council is down 90 miles to the south. He can stay down there. He can rot. I don't care. See ya. Well, Chicago can deal with that crap now. We don't have them anymore. I don't care if the Brewers are sub 500. If they win 50 games this season, it's going to be fun every time I go to the ballpark. The Bucks lost last night. They lost to the Celtics, which was a good game, but Giannis was out, so that's probably why they lost. And sports. That's it. That's all the sports I know.
Fantastic. Well, thanks so much, Jeff.
You bet.
And now it's everybody's favorite part of the show.
I love March Madness.
We will return you to the regularly scheduled program in just a moment.
But first,
Let's make some merch money.
You've known Dead on the Bases as a high-quality podcast. You've known that only the highest levels of quality are tolerated in our audio and video product, delivered to you with only the finest podcasting partners and online audio delivery or video streaming. Now, Jeff and Tim are happy to announce their next phase in the proud evolution of their brand. Because now, Dead on the Bases has... You heard us right. You heard us develop the product online. You saw how the elements came together. You heard it all become the juggernaut of awesome you know today. We have Dead on the Bases merch. Get this high-quality, durable garment at our store or a fine partner location. Get our classic and classy tees that really shine, worn out on their own, paired with some chinos or a pair of jeans. This is for sure your new favorite tee. And it's also your significant other's new favorite tee. Made with a super soft blend of ring-spun cotton and polyester to help the shirt keep its shape, as it will soon be the shirt you wear for all occasions. And what else do we have coming in the line?
I'm thinking about getting posters, and I'm thinking about getting tumblers, like Yetis. I don't know, man. I think we got a market going. I don't know.
As always, Jeff, you are so right. Get this fabulous product now at a location near you.
It's gotta be.
Dead on the Bases.
Only one place can be.
When you care.
Oh. Okay.
And when you are...
Open it up, Mosquito style!
I thought for sure this was going to be Arthur Treacher's.
No, it is the original Parkland
Yeah.
Mall.
I wish Parkland Mall would be still back.
Yeah, I bet you do. Hey, you know where we just came from?
Where? You came from the bathroom.
Well, yeah. But we came from Horror Realm.
Horror Realm.
Horror Realm.
Horror Realm.
And we had a lot of fun at Horror Realm.
We did.
And we saw a lot of our friends out there. That was great. Got to see Susie and Pat, and my brother came along, and we had a lot
Sean
of fun.
Steele.
Sean Steele was out there. We saw, of course, the whole Otherworldly Culture bunch. Mike Cieslik. We had Exler and
Rich.
Holzapfel and Rich and
Michelle.
the whole group of them, and Sandy. And we want to thank everybody as we were out there. Very good hospitality, as always, that
Felix.
we get out of Horror Realm. And Jeff, you got to do a panel interview.
Yeah, I did. I got to do a panel interview with Tiffany Shepis. It was a lot of fun. I had a great time. Tiffany Shepis could not be a better panelist. She was so
Charming.
charming, accommodating, funny. She gives you time of day. She could have stayed up there all night. It was a good time. It was a lot of fun. We got to find out a few things something that scared her, something that she likes. We found out that she was in a Christmas movie, that she was in Star Trek, that she wanted to buy Buffalo Bill's house.
Yeah. And we hear details about that.
Yep.
And that interview is right now up on the otherworldlyculture.com website, and there's been a couple hundred people already there.
Get out of here.
So you should get out there and watch that. No, it's not a couple hundred people.
Well, why would you say that then?
I don't know. Why do you keep telling people that we're going to have guests like we do on this show?
I didn't say that at all. You told me
You
to
said
stop.
it so many times.
I know, but I stopped.
So many times. Anyway, no, there's it is a fair amount though.
I would
and
like-
it is
It might be
continuing to
because
go.
he didn't the photographer didn't get my good side. I think it could have been we should have had the camera on the other side maybe.
Where would you like it placed?
You know what they should do?
Akron.
No, like a drone.
If we want your good side,
you have a
we would
drone?
need to be in another country.
We should have a drone in there so it can get up in here. And,
Why do we need a drone? You had a microphone and you're droning on and on.
Okay. Tim did a panel too.
I did.
He did a great panel.
Yeah, I had Patty Mullen, Lynn Lowry, and Dee Wallace all up there. And hopefully in the next 2 weeks or so, we hope to have that video out there for your viewing pleasure, along with Mike Exler's panels, with the House of a Thousand Corpses panel, the William Forsythe panel, and the Rob Zombie Columbus panel.
Oh, okay.
So that's going to be a lot of fun.
That should be a lot of fun.
And those are
Thank
coming
you, Tim,
out
for getting mine
in the
done.
near future. Jeff's was a priority item because, as you know, Jeff would start crying.
No, that's not
and
true.
just being a general nuisance if he didn't get his way.
That's
So we
never-
had to do that right away.
That's never the case. Never.
And you know what, Jeff? What it's time for?
Your review.
No, a new clock. It's 350 days until the next Horror Realm. 350 days, everybody synchronize your watches.
But that's last year's date on there.
That is, but the date is correct.
Well, you know
Because
what?
I haven't been able to, we haven't made the new panel yet.
What does it take? A couple.
The banner is not being made yet.
But
No, it's bad. It's bad juju if you make it too early.
yeah, 350 days. Can you
350
imagine?
days,
Do we get
they're
out there
coming.
again?
I
might
Pittsburgh has been warned.
I might spend a week.
They can't say. might do that next year.
Go to the Avery area.
I hear I might have an opening on my calendar. All right, we'll find out.
Are we gonna tell them about other things we did or no? Like the Avery?
Stay tuned after this week's show
Okay.
to hear about the Avery.
Yep.
All right. Here we go, folks. I noticed you haven't said anything about my cool new transition with all the logos from the movies we have this season.
It looks nice. What do you need?
Yeah,
to have-
look, see?
Oh wow.
Yeah. I didn't think you noticed
Do it
that.
again.
No. It's in the middle of a thing. See, in a second
That's
or
what she
two,
said.
it's gonna. In a second or two, it's gonna put my name across the bomb. And it's
Hey,
gonna be
you
real
didn't do
cool.
that for me.
Yes, I did.
No, I
Yes,
did not
I
see
did.
it.
I know you didn't see it. You don't see half
How
the
are
stuff that goes on.
How are
during
people
this
supposed
show.
to get a hold of me?
I don't know why you're all of a sudden in a sign-in screen on IMDb.
I know. What happened?
Hit the back arrow. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to protect my computer. Get out of here. What did you do? There we go. All right. Hey, you okay now there, princess?
Stop.
All right.
Stop with your.
I was subjected to the film Play It to the Bone, made in 1999. It's a Touchstone film. Directed by Ron Shelton, who's made a couple of the movies that we've watched here on the show, including Bull Durham, and there's one other piece of shit. And Woody Harrelson is in this movie, Antonio Banderas,
White Man Can't Jump.
Lolita Davidovich,
Davidovich.
and Tom Sizemore, Robert Wagner, and Lucy Liu. So good cast. A lot of people in the cast. I'm not a huge Woody Harrelson fan, as I said when we did White Men Can't Dump.
Jump?
I think I got it right. This season, I did do things different than I've done in past seasons. Past seasons, I always took my notes during the film so that I could keep track of things. I decided this year I'm going to take all of my notes at the end of the film instead of as it went, because I was told a number of times, hey, you're missing things because you're busy writing notes. Well, thank God I decided to do that this time. Taking notes made it much easier to overlook the pure boredom that I was going through. In the past, I'd be taking notes and it would kind of keep me awake and engaged. This time, that was not in my way. I was just completely disgusted by this film. In typical Jeff fashion, we're about 5 minutes into the movie and the first drug overdose happens on screen.
Oh my God.
The movie can't decide if it's White Men Can't Dump with a Spaniard or Midnight Run with a redhead. It's no friggin' good at either of them. It starts off pretty strong. I'm going to tell you how you could fix this movie, by the way, as I go.
Why, thank you, Tim.
Because they didn't know. What happens is the undercard fight for a Tyson main event. Now, this was in the days where HBO was ruling the roost, and these Tyson matches, he would put away a chump in a matter of minutes, but everybody tuned into these things. One of the people in the undercard OD'd, as I discussed, in pure Jeff fashion, and the other one died. So they decide to give Woody and Antonio a shot at the title because, they know they'll do it for the money. They're basically whores.
But they're friends. They're best friends.
They're best friends, apparently. Here, the hook is that the winner would get a title shot.
Yep.
Okay? So the
Pretty
best
clever.
part of this film,
Pretty
this
clever.
is what they should have kept the movie at, is they should not have shown one more scene of Woody Harrelson or Antonio Banderas. Because the best part of the film was watching Richard Macer and Tom Sizemore and Jack Carter and Robert Wagner. They're the little puppet masters trying to put together the bout. There was an opportunity for comedy there. There was a lot of behind the scenes. This is what goes into promoting a card like this. And they had a talented cast, but they decided to keep going to the car where Lolita Davidovich is driving her car. They're driving their car to Vegas for this big fight.
But she had relations with both of these guys, so that's where her tie is. She's dated both of them.
I'm not debating. That is
I'm
the
just saying,
story
but that's
reason.
part of it, though.
That's the story reason. Here's the thing. Half of this film is a road picture.
You're right.
You're sitting there. Jeff was upset because there was one scene of setting up Re-Animator. I sat through an hour of this BS.
Oh, jeez.
An hour of them setting it up. Our trip to Pittsburgh seemed to go quicker. And there were definitely better snacks. I thought this movie was going to be about the journey. And it just kept unspooling exposition. And here's the thing, spoiler alert, they keep saying, oh, this is, the backstory. Nothing gets resolved in this movie. Not one thing gets resolved. It's a total waste of time. So at one point they run into Lucy Liu. She's a pretty girl. She's done a lot of great movies. This isn't one of them. She is boring. She is dull as a character. And here's a character that there was a comedic element to her. She's basically a slut, right? There's something funny there. They decide, let's go another way. So this cast that they have, they're good, but they decide to do nothing with it. Now, the nothing they do is Lolita Davidovich. Now, Lolita had a very short run in the 90s. In 1989, she had her breakout role as Blaze Starr in the film Blaze. And she was always cast as a sex bomb beauty that had more brains than she let on.
She's very beautiful.
That's just what she did. Every movie she did, she was the sexy lady that had more brains than she was letting on, and she was manipulating men with her beauty. Okay?
She's like the redheaded Barbara Crampton.
Yeah. She's super hot. She manipulates men, just like all super hot women do. She just, that's all she had. There was no story there. There was nothing interesting happening. So this movie goes at a snail's pace, which is ironic because they're driving fairly fast. Then they finally get to Vegas, and you're like, thank God, they're out of the car. I was doing a happy dance. They finally got out of the car. So I'm like, okay, now they're going to meet up with those guys in the room, and this is going to be funny hijinks. No, we decide, let's go another way. That would be entertaining. We don't want anybody getting entertained. We're halfway through the movie. We've made it without entertaining anybody. Why do it now? So the guys... so it's just ridiculous. The fight scenes were unengaging. This is the same, if you remember, I had the argument about white men can't dump.
Can't jump.
And in that movie, like the final game, I was like, I didn't care. There were no stakes. Which, another spoiler alert, who the hell thinks they're going to name a winner of these two? They're best friends. You know how this thing is going to end from the minute they set it up in the first scene.
I didn't.
So, come on.
I didn't.
It was so obvious. So, no one cares about this undercard. They actually set that up in the movie. Like, when they're first announcing them, and this is very true to those old Tyson bouts, most of the celebs in that don't show up until Tyson's there.
Right, you're right.
It's like people are ordering their Cracker Jack and whatever, and... The whole idea, the story idea is they're going to have such a great fight that people are going to start paying attention and they're going to become stars, right?
Yep.
You see that from the beginning. I mean, they telegraph this is the move, right? So what do we see? We see the guys go down for a 10 count where they just barely get back up to their feet. About 85 times. I didn't count them, but it was about 85 times where they just beat the 10 count. And then we keep hearing, because they have the same commentators that did all the HBO things.
Yeah.
And they're like, these guys are good body punchers, blah, blah, blah. At one point, I watched, and every shot that was taken, every punch was to the head for 25 straight shots.
Really?
I stopped counting, Jeff.
Okay, all
there
right.
could have been more. I was like, I've never seen a boxing match where all they do is go for headshots. It's like, I know how you know how you would defend this fight?
All right.
They're not going to go for the body. It was unbelievable. Now, there were some cool cameos. Rod Stewart, Kevin Costner, James Woods, Drew Carey. That was kind of cool. It was kind of cool to see the old HBO bunch. It was kind of cool to see they even had some of the trainers. That's a weird guy that has all the crap in his hair or whatever he did. Yeah. Well, he didn't have hair. So that was kind of a bright point. They had Buffer as the announcer. That's kind of cool.
Score's going up, folks.
But I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah, don't, please.
We leave that to Jeff. But here's the thing. The end is so incredibly dissatisfying. Nothing gets settled. You don't know what's going to happen next. They don't really even set that up well. It felt like you were the victim of a huge con. And it doesn't feel very good. I felt like I was the loser. So that was harmful. But that brings me to, this movie was pretty interesting in the horror movie Connections game.
Yep.
Which I'm a huge fan of. Here we go, horror movie Connections.
I can help you with this too.
Alrighty. Why don't we start with Woody the Hair Harrelson? He has no hair.
Well, we had him on we had him on Zombieland and Double Tap.
Yeah, and where's my Hall of Fame? There it is.
He's a Hall of Fame.
He was in the Hall of Fame. He also, now look at this. My notes got small.
He was in White Man Can't Jump.
He was in White Man Can't Jump, Kingpin,
We had that.
and
Holy cow.
Zombieland.
Wow.
He did a movie called Bay Cove that's a horror movie, and Natural Born Killers is kind of horror adjacent.
Mm-hmm.
His percentage is 2.7. 2.7% of his total movies.
All right.
He has 113 movies, 3 of them were horror movies. I'm going to go through these a little bit quicker.
You can do that.
Antonio Banderas. They actually marked 2 of his Shrek movies as horror movies.
What?
I'm not acknowledging those. I took those
That
off.
makes no sense.
He was in Interview with the Vampire. That's a legit horror movie. And he made a film called The Skin I Live In that has been on my queue forever. I moved it up because I do like Antonio Banderas. I just don't like Play It to the Bone. Third is Lolita Davidovich. His, by the way, is 3.3%. So he's the high so far. Lolita Davidovich, believe it or not, she's at 5.8%.
What was she in?
She was in Raising Cain with John Lithgow, which is actually a
I saw that.
pretty good horror movie.
That was a horror movie?
Yeah.
I saw that, though.
She made an appearance on Friday the 13th, the series, which I always find interesting. A lot of people hate that show, but she only made 6. But she didn't make a ton of movies, so it kind of evens out. Then we have Tom Sizemore. Now, so far we had a 2.7, a 3.3, and a 5.8%. Mm-hmm. Tom Sizemore, 15.1.
Holy cow, that's all he does.
15.1. He did 258 movies. That's twice as many as Woody Harrelson, but he did 39, which is more than 10 times the amount of horror movies. He has, on his IMDb, by the way, he has 5 upcoming movies. He's been dead a while already.
He's dead?
He's dead. He's very dead. Now, his first horror movie is his best. He did a lot of cheapies later on to pay for his drug habit.
Wow.
But his first was called The Relic in 1997. It's streaming everywhere all the time. It's actually a pretty good movie, and it takes place in Chicago in the Natural History Museum, I think is what they use. So that's actually a good movie. I enjoy that movie. I think Tom Sizemore is very talented, but boy, he made a lot of garbage late in his career. Lucy Liu made 3 horror movies. I never even heard of any of them, so I'm not even going to count them. I'm just going to say no horror. If you want to be a stickler, IMDb has it at 2.7%. Robert Wagner, Heart to Heart.
Didn't he have...
He was involved in Natalie Wood's murder.
Yes.
I don't know that he caused it, but he was there.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of debate about that. He only made one horror movie that even looked interesting to me. It was a TV movie called Death at the Love House in 1976. But he already had a very established career by that time. Richard Macer.
Yep, The Thing.
That's right, which makes him a
Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer. He was also, and this is great, he was in The Rat Story and Nightmares, which was an anthology film. He was in the It miniseries that had Tim Curry in it. And he was in a Disney horror movie called Mr. Boogedy. And for some reason, it was not listed as a horror film, which it's a kid's horror movie, so it's kind of hard to say. It's not very scary. But he was also in Martin Sheen's big horror movie called The Believers, which a lot of people thought, oh, Martin Sheen is getting into horror, and that was it. That was this one time. And then I'm going to throw this guy in. You remember him? He was one of the guys in the room. He's mostly a comedian. Willie Garson is his name. He made 172 movies.
Get out of here.
Everybody on the list, only Tom Sizemore has made more movies than this guy.
Wow.
As far as horror, pretty boring list. But, well, actually, not a boring list. There's only 3 of them, though. Of them, of interest is Repossessed, which is a horror comedy movie that Leslie Nielsen made shortly before he passed away. It was basically a spoof of The Exorcist. And then he made a movie called Brain Dead in 1990, which a lot of people are interested in, and I haven't seen yet, and I'm going to. It stars Bill Paxton and Willie here. It was a Roger Corman production, but because of Bill Paxton's involvement, I really want to see it. I want
to ask you something real quick before you get to your rating and all that.
Yeah.
And this is legit. How can a comedy movie be considered horror? How can someone like Leslie Nielsen being in? How is that horror?
Because it's about devil possession.
Oh, I don't want to see that then.
Yeah. You would not watch that movie. You know what else I wouldn't watch?
What? Play it to the bone.
Come on. Where is it? Where's my Pauly Shore connect? There it comes.
Dude, need fundage, bro.
It's going to be with Lolita Davidovich.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right, let's see what I picked for the Pauly Shore connection. We got
Banderas.
Antonio Banderas is connected to Carla Gugliano by Spy Kids 2. I think it's Spy Kids 1 also, by the way. Then Carla Gugliano, obviously, was the love interest to Pauly Shore in Son-in-Law. So that is another 2. So if anybody thought one of the movies would be a winner this week, neither. They're both at the same amount of steps.
Wow.
So that's pretty exciting. And
it's exciting.
I'll tell you, because
cool.
It gives you an idea of how things are going to be here. Because I'm about to give the grade. And it's also a 2. It's also a 2. This movie was going out of its way to bore me. I at one point I said, I should give it to Jeff, give him a 3. I couldn't, in good conscience. I think I might have disliked this movie more than North Dallas 40 and the Benson one. What's the one with the basketball?
Fishnet City, Pittsburgh?
That was bad, but no. You've given me a lot of bad basketball movies. The one with Robbie Benson. And,
One-on-One?
One-on-One. Here's the thing. This had a lot of talented people, and they just wasted them. And that upset me. It made me very angry.
You don't want to get Tim angry.
So, no, you don't. Because
Are you
it
serious
gives bad
about
scores.
2?
I'm going with a 2.
All right.
I'm going with a 2. I know you got some better movies. I'm getting a little irritated that you keep giving me movies that I don't believe you actually sat through.
I've seen this a couple times. I've seen this at least.
And you gave it to me?
Yeah, I thought it was a good movie.
Oh,
I
Jeff.
did. Honest to God.
Jeff, you're kidding. Right?
No, I'm telling you the God's honest truth. It's the truth.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I don't even know how to react to that.
It looks like you have.
You liked it.
Yes. I've seen this movie at least 4 times. One time was just a review before we did this. 3 times before this I saw it.
And you liked it?
Yes.
What? Okay, what is it? What about it did you like?
It's kind of like a buddy movie. You got Lolita Davidovich on there. You have Lucy Liu in there.
Lolita Davidovich looks like she's reading her lines off a cue
I don't
card.
care. I'm looking at her. I'm not listening to her.
That's probably the best way to watch this movie. I think I might have gave it a 3 if I would have turned off the sound.
Well, that's...
That might have helped.
I don't
might
know,
have
Tim.
helped. Or if I closed my eyes.
It's kind of fun, though. I mean, they run into Lucy Liu, and they have a little
See,
interaction
that's the
there.
thing. Okay, that's what's so frustrating to me. They meet Lucy Liu, and I'm like, finally, we got a little conflict going. This is going to be fun.
She punches her out. She cocks her.
But they do it in such a way it isn't fun.
All right.
I would have punched her at that point in the movie. And I'm not a violent person. I only suck blood out of people.
All right.
All right. Are you ready for trivia?
Well,
I sure as hell am.
I think I am, yeah.
Yeah, let's see what happens. Let's see if I have my cool transition here. Let's see. Oh, there it is.
Oh, yeah, it looks nice.
See Rocky and everything there?
Cujo?
It's time now for trivia.
Well, you just
The way the trivia goes, we read 3 statements. 2 of them are true. 1 is a big old fat lie. And the other person has to declare which one is the lie. Who wants to go first?
You should ask me first. You just got done doing the plate
Doing
for the
the rip?
bone. Yeah, I'll let you relax a little bit.
Which one the hell was I going to use here? Let me double check.
Folks, he gave it a 2.
A 2. I was generous. You're welcome. I don't want to use that one.
Well, thank you then, I guess.
I want to do that one. Okay. I have decided which ones I'm going to use. Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay. H.P. Lovecraft stands for Howard Phillips Lovecraft.
That's the question?
No, that's a statement. Is it true or not? You don't know. H.P. Lovecraft stands for Howard Phillips Lovecraft.
Okay.
Next one. Yeah, I want to do this one. The movie score was composed by Charles Band's brother, Richard Band. It is commonly criticized for being a ripoff of the Psycho theme.
Okay.
And then the last one. In the morgue chaos scene, the sound of the buzzer from the game Operation can clearly be heard when the circuit breaker is damaged. They use the sound effect from Operation when a circuit breaker is damaged. So we have H.P. Lovecraft stands for Howard Phillips Lovecraft. We have Charles Band's brother Richard Band composed the movie score. And we have Operation.
This sucks. All right. So, this is how this...
I think these are actually pretty fair this time.
Why? Have you given me not fair ones before?
I just threw out a couple that I went, no, these aren't fair.
Like, they'd be just too difficult?
I'll tell you after we do this.
All right, so this is
I don't want to confuse
This
you.
is how this is going to go.
Yeah.
Jeff's
going to overthink this and pick the wrong one.
We can throw out the Charles Band thing.
Okay. Why are we throwing that out? Because it's true or it's false?
It's true.
Because that's true. You know that's true.
I do.
Okay.
The other 2 are the ones that are going to be the difficult ones.
Oh, boy.
So the thing about Operation, so this movie was made in 1985, and they didn't use CGI, so they probably had to do stuff like manual stuff. So I'm thinking that might be true. I think you're going to give me like the easiest one is going to be the wrong one by thinking the guy's initials are what?
Howard Phillips Lovecraft.
That's not it though. That's not his name. His name isn't Howard Phillips. It's something like Henry Powers. Wait, what's his last name again? Lovecraft. It's like Henry Powers or Henry Winkler or something. It's not what you said. It's
Henry Winkler.
Well, no, it's not because that's a W.
I would love Henry Winkler Lovecraft. I think that would sell a lot of books. Hey.
So you know what? The one that's going to be false, Tim?
Yeah.
It's going to be the easiest one. And that's going to be the first one. So it's false. That's the false one.
H.P. Lovecraft is false.
Yep.
Sorry. It was Operation. Operation was not true. I am so sorry, Jeff.
You're not sorry.
I am.
You're saying that for the audience.
I'm going to tell you the one that I threw out.
Yeah.
Because I knew this one would just trigger you. Originally, they were going to use a dead dog instead of a dead cat in the opening portion of the film, but it was discovered people were more comfortable with the notion of a dead cat than a dead dog.
That was true. It was a dead cat.
And that's actually a false
It was a real cat.
question, though. It was originally they were going to use a dead dog. They never thought about it.
I would have been pissed because
Yeah, you
I
would have
heard it
been-
wrong.
That's why I got rid of it.
Oh, you're lucky,
It
Tim.
was too complicated. And
It's too complicated.
by the way,
you make me sound like a dum-dum.
okay. The other one I threw out was, in real life, the brain can survive up to 6 minutes after the heart stops. Because I looked that shit up when they said it, and that was correct.
Yeah, I do.
That was true.
Everybody knows that.
I don't know. I've been dead for years, and I'm still running just fine.
All right.
Arga barga barga. Arga barga barga.
Okay, you ready?
I am. And I'm good looking.
Man, this is. You know what? You know what happens here? If you
This is where you
if
lose.
you get 5 here,
This
the
is
season's
where
done.
you lose.
You get 5 here, the season's done.
No, it is not.
I will be down 11 points.
It will be awesome, is what it'll be. And you'll just be going after it.
All right.
Let's see, put a 0 in there. Okay. I'll let you just look at that.
Play It to the Bone is Ron Shelton's highest grossing boxing movie. Ron Shelton.
Specifically a boxing movie you put in there?
Play It to the Bone is Ron Shelton's
right.
highest grossing boxing
movie. Okay.
Ron Shelton, the director, who has also directed other sports movie, was a minor league infielder in the Orioles organization before writing and directing movies.
Okay.
And Lolita Dojovich, who is married to the director Ron Shelton, was discovered as a ring girl before she started her career in movies. A ring girl, you saw that.
Yeah, and in fact, I thought that must be the reason Jeff likes us, because there was a lot of boobage at that point in the film. Okay, here's what I'm going to say.
Say what you're going to say, Tim.
Okay, the first one... Oh, shit, what was the first one? The
Highest
first
grossing boxing
highest
movie.
grossing boxing movie. Here's the thing. That guy does almost exclusively sports films, so he might have another boxing film, but I don't know that he does. So I'm just going to say it probably was his highest grossing, because I think it's the only one. Frankly, the movie sucked so bad, I wouldn't have gone back and made another boxing film. So the second one was...
He was a minor league ball player.
Minor league ball player. That sounds real because his best movie was Bull Durham, and that's a baseball film.
We saw that
So
one. We had that one.
that's why I've seen it.
You didn't
So
see
the
this?
third one is that he's married to Lolita Davidovich,
Which we know, but
And-
he discovered her
and he discovered her as a ring girl.
before she did movies.
To me, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. So I'm going to say the third one is false.
You're correct.
Oh my God. Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you.
Oh my God. Oh, hey, bring that cup over here, baby. It's going to be another great year. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. Well, now that I disheartened Jeff, I'm sorry about that, pal. It's going to be hard to stop me now. You got a big old thing. However, I should just give you a really crappy movie to make it more entertaining for myself. But I'm not going to, because I don't want to give you crummy movies, which apparently is not the same thing you want to do
Tim,
with me week after week.
It was a better movie than a 2, but that's fine.
On a good day, I'd give it a 3, but not really.
Okay.
Not really. I actually was offended by it.
Offended?
Offended. It was so bad. Okay, so let's go to the scorecard so everybody can see this ass whooping that's happening right now. 13 points to 2, Jeff. That's gonna be a run. That's gonna be a run. And I know some of these movies that are coming up, you got your work cut out for you, buddy. So let's take a look at what we got coming next week here on Dead on the Bases. And coming March 28th.
Next week, Thursday.
Week. I am giving Jeff the hit of Horror Realm.
Right. Absolutely.
What the hell? And then Jeff is giving me Raquel Welch
In
Kansas City Bombers. I'll say this. I have not seen that movie, and I do like looking at Raquel Welch.
All right.
So it's got some things going for it.
All right.
It's a little early for me. I like the 80s movies. I'm a little concerned. I'm hoping this isn't one of those gritty comedies that they did in the 70s that they were so gritty they weren't funny. I don't know what they're going to do with this. So
wait.
It'll be interesting
Just
to
wait.
me. And I'm hoping for the best. I pray it's not what I went through this week. Jeff, you have Frankenhooker.
Frankenhooker.
Which was the hit of Horror Realm.
Patty Mullen could not have done
Unbelievable.
any better at anywhere else in her life.
No, it was amazing how many people stood in line for her. I think you're going to find out why.
And you know what? She was a pleasure to talk to too.
Oh, yeah. She's very nice. And she did karaoke. She did karaoke. I have it, and I put it out there. And, yeah, that happened. For real, Frankenhooker danced around and sang for us. So I think you're in for a treat. We'll see if you like it. It is one of those movies that you got to be in the right mood for. So we'll see what type of mood you're in when you watch it.
And then I'll give you my Patty Mullen story next week when we do this.
Oh, boy.
Because you don't even know this story. This happened out there.
I don't even know.
No, I didn't even tell you this.
I know that you tried talking her into coming on the show.
That's not it. This is something I'm saving. I'm saving it.
Okay. Well, we are coming to the close of the show. Yeah, no kidding. We're getting through this. I want to say it's time to close the crypt and call the game. Thank you all for watching. And remember to share and subscribe to our show and feed. We have a new Twitter feed.
Oh, we do? That's right.
What is our handle?
I don't know. I think it's @Dead on the Bases, right?
It is Dead on the Bases.
Yeah, @Dead on the Bases. You
Dead on the Bases.
go.
And we're also on X now. What's our handle on X?
That's Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Dead on the Bases.
Okay.
It's the same thing. But here's the thing. So we're going to post pictures on there.
But we're on both of them, right?
It's the same thing.
What do you mean it's the same thing?
Twitter and X are the same thing.
No, it isn't. One's Twitter, one's X.
Twitter was bought out by Elon Musk, and he changed it to X.
Why didn't he call it Musk?
So we're back to this.
Okay.
So we're going to have pictures on there. We've already posted some pictures of Tim and I with people at Horror Realm.
That's all you need is pictures of the two of us.
My video is on there with, or how to get to my video with
Tiffany Shepis.
Tiffany Shepis.
Right there. Yep.
Tim is going to supply the previews for each week.
That's the plan.
And there's going to be other fun stuff on there. Like this past one, there was a guy, he was in this pop-up with an alligator going around him. So I put my picture of me as a pop-up with a penguin by me.
You know, those penguins, they're a dangerous bunch.
They are.
We were at the birdery, and they were really going... Well, we'll talk about that
it's called Avery.
Just a second. Want to remind you all, you can follow the show on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Pandora, iHeart, TuneIn, Stitcher. You can no longer find us on Google Podcasts.
What?
Because Google Podcasts is going away. Did you know about that?
I do now.
Yeah, I found out it's in like a month or so. They're going to shut it down. They're telling people to use YouTube. Guess what? You can follow us on YouTube. So that's pretty cool.
Is this Shepis video on YouTube?
Yes, it is.
Oh, cool.
And Spotify, you can also find us on. So you can find us all over the place. But we are over time, and it's time to close it up. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in. For those of you watching live, hang on for Beat the Ump. Our big quiz show will be right following this. So remember, if it's sports,
it's a home run.
It's a home run. If it's horror, run home. We're Dead on the Bases, and we'll see you next time. You got screwed with a 2?
With a 2. Come on.
I could change it to a 1.
You could, but the show's over, so you can't.
You don't know.
A 2.
A 2.
I don't think I've had a 2 before.
Yes, you have.
Have I ever
One
had a
on one.
Have I had a 1?
I counted the 1
Have
and
I
the
had a
1.
1?
I don't know that I've given you a 1.
Thank God.
You have actually given me 2s.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Collector, the Baba Black Sheep one.
Conjuring.
Conjuring should have been a negative 17.
Oh, you put it to guy.
Okay, well.
Are you ready?
I'm ready for this, and I'm ready for next week. I'm going to go home tonight and watch both movies tonight.
Why?
I don't know, because I'm frustrated now. I'm